just a couple last things that I'm gonna do. Okay, so hey everybody, welcome back to Starseries. This is Season 5, and welcome back to Day 8, I believe, of the group stage matchups. As always, I'm Basekip, bringing you guys this game, and this is going to be our first game of the evening. It's going to be 3D Clan over on the Radiant side, up against Freedom of the Action, or Fota, on the Dire and Phantom Lancer. Actually going to start us off for the bans. So again, I can probably fix that. Okay, there we go. So overlay's gone. A little bit less intrusive again. Sorry about that, guys. Just a couple of last minute things, and trying to switch to a new streaming program at the last minute, probably not the best idea. Okay, so getting underway with the draft. Fota going to choose to ban out the Keeper of the Light. Nick's going to be banned out by 3D Clan, so right now, perhaps looking at a Batrider. First pick does go to Fota here. I'm not sure if they have a Wisp player. We'll have to see. I mean, that's just really the deciding factor in whether or not you can use the hero, so we'll see if it makes it through. Batrider is going to be banned by 3D Clan. Wisp available for Fota, but so are Darkseer and Magnus, so not lightweights there either. And yeah, just moving forward, we'll see what they end up going for. So Darkseer is going to be taken by Fota, and 3D Clan now have, well, if they have a Wisp player, then they can go for a Wisp. Otherwise, Magnus, Rubik, not a bad pairing here. Or anything else. I mean, we have been seeing the rise of Bane, Gyrocopter, and Nyx all throughout the past couple of weeks. So it's going to be Gyro and Rubik. And the Rubik, nice, because if Fota take the Magnus, then they've sort of screwed themselves a little bit by going double melee right off the bat. And the Rubik is always a really nice deterrent to having the Mag as well. So, yeah. Anywho. So, Fota... okay, let's talk about Gyrocopter again, and I sort of do this every single time we see Gyro. He's got really nice flexibility. He's always really nice as far as the draft goes. Because of that flexibility, it means that your opponents need to draft around him however they think he's going to be played, but you can always sort of change things last minute. So locking in the Gyro within the first 3 picks isn't actually really locking in too much, because you can play him as a support, assuming that you're not going to really be offensively tri-laned against. You can play him as a mid, you can play him as a safe lane solo, you can play him as the carry in an offensive tri-lane, you can play him in pretty much any role underneath the sun, aside from straight out jungling, and I'm sure someone like Lockified will show us that in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, Fota, go for Team Purple, and it's going to be Bane and Luna for us this time around. So just seeing more of those staple picks coming out right now. And Magnus is going to be now taken by 3D Clan. So, going to be interesting to see how they choose to run these lanes. Magnus, again, these days, not really nice to see him on the off lane, since he's not necessarily all that strong there anymore, but he can still cope. It would be a little bit difficult, especially with a Bane and a Luna, but we'll have to see. I mean, 3D Clan have got themselves in a pretty good position to try and run an offensive tri-lane as well, though Luna plus Bane plus one ranged, if anything, is definitely quite devastating just because of that lunar aura. So we shall see. As far as what both teams are looking for right now, Fota potentially looking for a mid, so 3D Clan throwing a bunch of bans that way, and Fota a bit eclectic. We see a Tiny Ban, a Tinker, and an Enigma. So with the Enigma ban, perhaps not going to be seeing Fota choosing to try their luck at all with an offensive tri-lane. Since Enigma's not really great in a defensive 2.5, doesn't really contribute all that much in the early levels, and that means that you're leaving a duo lane to deal with an offensive tri-lane, which is just not a situation that they want to be in. So looks like Fota are just trying to shut out that farm advantage, and 3D Clan doing something similar. They're going to choose to ban at the Chen here. And yes, it is definitely worth changing the title now. So sorry about that, guys. I'm disorganized as always.
10 seconds remaining.
Sorry about that. And sorry about the taskbar and whatnot. Okay, so heading into the next round, Fota looking for a second support, looking for another solo. 3D Clan looking for a second support as well, and then potentially looking for an offlaner. There are still plenty of options left in the pool as far as offlaners go, though a lot of them will have difficult with just, well, Bane and Luna. They've got great power to just drive someone out of the lane. And even Bane, I mean, his base damage is fantastic. Base move speed not bad either, so he's really, really good at just harassing offlaners out of the lane, able to trade blows quite easily with, I mean, even Winner, and then any melee doesn't really stand a chance. So title should be updated. Now we're just waiting on Fota to make this pick within the next 40 seconds of their reserve time. We could see the blue-purple theme continue with perhaps Puck as a mid. Queen of Pain has obviously been banned out, and TA hasn't really been too popular of late. We actually have been seeing a really interesting variation as far as what people have been running mid. And I'd also like to point out right now that Wisp has made it all the way through, so neither team really, well, apparently not having that card up their sleeve to try and play. Though, we'll see. So Fota are going to go for a Leshrac, some nice push on top of what they've already got. They're not very durable, I have to say, as far as their lineup goes so far. Darkseer can get reasonably tanky, but they don't really have anyone to be necessarily on the front lines early on until Luna sort of has her BKB. So we'll see how that works out for them. If Luna gets off to a bad start, then that could spell trouble. They do have a really nice combo between the Bane and the Leshrac. You can get the Nightmares to set up into the Split Earth, and there's a ton of damage there against whoever's going to be facing them up on that top lane. Since again, I don't think they're going to be running an offensive tri-lane. They could, if 30 Clan go for quite a weak support as their second support, or even if Gyrocopter turns out to be their support and they choose, well, they choose a carry right now, but it's going to be Earthshaker. Okay, so this is a little bit interesting, I have to say, from 3D Clan. Earthshaker, not a pick that we've been seeing a whole lot of, sort of late. He's kind of nice with a Gyrocopter against a Darkseer, since if you can Fissure all the way across the lane, you can waste a lot of his surge duration, and then if you single him out, you can do fantastic Rocket Barrage damage. But we haven't seen a lot of Earthshaker in a very long time. I think the last time I saw Earthshaker was when we saw him being run as an Ancient puller on the off lane, using the Fissure on the dire side to block off your lane creep, so they ran down into the Ancients and just got wiped out. But yeah, yes, definitely definitely not a popular pick of late. And Fota, they're gonna go for OD, so Outworld Devourer, as he is now known, and he's gonna be playing their mid. So they've got two nice setups for a Split Earth. They picked themselves up a little bit more team fight, but both of their carries are going to be extremely reliant on BKBs. And 3D Clan, they're going to go for a Pudge as the last pickup. So we're in for some exciting Dota, I think, pretty much regardless of what happens from this point forward. But 3D Clan, we're going to see how they choose to land this. They don't really have huge effective range, and we'll have to see. Sorry about this, guys. I'll just quickly toggle on the old overlay again and getting into the game. Over on the side of Fota, we're going to have Wapsa playing the Bane. Zar is going to be on the OD Die. On the Leshrac, Prepare for Battle is going to be on the Darkseer, and that leaves Kappa, who is a stand-in, to play the Luna. Over on the side of 3D Clan, we've got Nexus playing the Gyrocopter. Solo is going to be on the Rubik. Dread walking his way down as the Earthshaker. We're going to have Serva playing the Pudge. Sharfik is going to be on the Magnus. And yeah, so that's going to be it as far as our lineups go. We'll have a quick check-in on starting items, though. Pudge has a Quelling Blade, so I'm a little bit intrigued as to what's going on right now. Looks like he's just going to very slowly cut his way through these trees to try and run a couple of mid pulls while Sharfik takes the actual mid. So a little bit interesting to see there. It's a jungle Pudge. It's, I guess, it's a sacrificed off lane here from 3D Clan as well. I guess I touched on Earthshaker as a competitive pick, so maybe I should talk about Pudge, and some of my views on Pudge are maybe a little bit controversial. I think Pudge is great. I think Navi's success with Pudge shows how strong a hero he can be. He's not necessarily a strong mid because he doesn't really even win middle lane, but just his ability to break oncoming pushes and to also break turtling situations. I mean, as the longer that two teams stand in a 5v5 stalemate, the probability that somebody's going to get hooked by Pudge sort of trends towards 1. So I think he's good. He sort of needs to have safe lane or a nice place to farm, and that's a problem with a lot of the melee heroes in the pools, that there's just not a place to give them nice XP, nice levels. So we'll see how much Pudge is going to be able to get done on this middle lane, and hopefully he's been practicing with the mid pull, since it's significantly more difficult now. So Zerman Urn is going to be a double damage. Bane gets that one, and looks like he's going to be spending some time on mid, at least to start things out, to try and help out the OD. And he's got all the time in the world to do it, since there is literally nobody up on top for 3D Clan. So Luna's going to be getting good farm. Darkseer has actually opted to start out in the jungle, so both carriers should be getting pretty much complete farm. It just comes down to a question of whether or not they can last hit underneath the tower as their supports go for farm. As far as mid lane goes, 3D Clan don't necessarily have amazing ganking supports. I mean, Rubik and Earthshaker probably a little bit better as far as ganking the OD goes than Leshrac and Bane. Ganking the Magnus at least until Bane gets that level 6 up. So we'll see if anything interesting happens from 3D Clan trying to interfere with the middle lane, but it's going to have to be smoked since Fota have set up a nice defensive board for their OD on mid. So yeah, that's about it. The only interesting lane to really watch right now is mid, since teams are just pulling on their respective side of the map to start things out. We've got the 2-minute run coming up in just a second as well, so we'll have a quick check-in on that one. As far as heading towards a late game scenario goes, I mean, 3D Clan are only running a single carry in the Gyrocopter, who, while he is strong, isn't necessarily going to stand up to the might of a very farmed OD or a very farmed Luna. So hopefully 3D Clan will be able to do something about middle lane. OD can get too much up. And yes, Kurgel in chat is very, very much right. Empower first is weird for Magnus, but I guess suspecting that he's not really going to have that much mana to spam anyway. If OD has his way on this middle lane, then Sharfik is probably not going to have enough max mana to even cast Shockwave. So that's going to be trouble for him. And I guess yeah, it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit easier to gank him as well. No points in Skewer. Even if he had, the mana would be a little bit tight. Our 2-minute run has just spawned, so Bane camping that one out, going to be giving it to PFB, who's going to head just back into the jungle apparently. So yeah, we shall have to see how this game plays out. So far, Nexus doing a little bit better as far as CSing goes compared to the Luna. And Luna plus 6 damage from the Bassi. Should be doing fine, especially with the Lunar Blessing, but it can get a little bit difficult and it can be finicky to last it under the tower. It does sometimes come down to luck, though that should really only be the siege creeps. So, how has Pudge been doing trying to run pulls to deal with the OD? OD, I mean, a little bit behind as far as levels go, but still finding some good farm on mid, though Magnus actually staying a little bit ahead right now. And the Empower also nice, I guess, for a degree of lane control to try and push things out, since OD has nothing to manipulate the wave whatsoever. So if Magnus can get things spammed out, he can go and check runes and things like that. But again, that's all contingent on whether or not he has mana to do anything. So 3D Clan, 3-man push down on bot, putting some early aggressive pressure on this tower. They will be able to force the Darkseer's attention down to this lane. And he does now get level 4, so if he would like, he can get that second point up in the Surge and be relatively safe. Again, Fisher Stun just cops him there. 3D Clan not interested in giving away Deny on this tower by any stretch of the imagination. Magnus continues to be imprisoned on mid, and now he has 91 max mana. So if he has his entire mana pool ready to go, he's got 1 Shockwave. So that's definitely not fun for him. Dread actually takes the last hit on the tower down on bot. Not too surprising, not sure how intentional it was either. I mean, Earthshaker does need Arcane Boots, and that's not really a question. We're going to have Pudge make his way up towards top. Level 3, TP's coming in as well. Going to haste up on Sharfik, going to be able to skewer the Luna a long way back. Rot going to work, it's going to be a sleep up on him, and the sleep now transferred onto Solo, hooked through Sharfik. First blood for him, still chasing, but low on mana. We've got a Fisher on top of Die. He's going to throw the stun, but it's not going to connect on anything. Sharfik still chasing Dread. Nothing left for him, but the Shockwave will be enough for Sharfik to draw lethal. Get a double kill for the first blood. So 3D Clan, they throw a whole bunch of heroes up towards top, but come away with 2 kills. And an all-important kill on the Luna as well. So, looking pretty good from the word go. And Nexus actually chasing down Prepare for Battle down in the bottom lane. It looks like he's going to be fine to make his way out. And Pudge almost up to level 5 from that. Again, very, very level dependent. So, I mean, almost level 5 at 5 minutes. It's actually really good pace, given that he is effectively a jungle Pudge. So, hopefully going to be seeing him put on quite a bit of pressure around the map, though, just trying to sneak what little bit of farm he can up on this top lane. He's got no idea where the dire supports are right now, so needs to be a little bit careful, though. The rational thought would be Pudge is backed off, there's nothing really for him to do up here, but right now he's still just hanging out, so soaking up a little bit more XP and getting himself that little bit closer to level 5. But yeah, a bit of a lead so far for 3D Clan. Without mid pulls being run during that duration, and I mean with Pudge and Magnus making their way up towards top, OD's doing a pretty good job as far as finding farm on mid goes. But I said this, you know, sort of early on in the game, FOTA have a little bit of duo carry, and ideally you want to try and shut down one of them. The OD seemed like the easier target, but 3D Clan found an opportunity up on top, and were able to capitalize on it. So, yeah, looking pretty good for them so far. Still just running pulls through down in the bottom lane, and ES and Rubik both fairly level dependent supports as well. I mean, fairly level dependent supports around the map. I mean, the Bane for FOTA, and then both the Rubik and the Earthshaker would love to have their ultimates up. So we've just got some heavy pulling running so far, and FOTA looks like they want to try and, well, they want to take this tier 1 tower that they pressured earlier on and finally get rid of it. So equalize out the tower gold. It should be a little bit of a gold lead right now for 3D Clan, though it is fairly steady in level at 2k, and about a 500 XP lead at the same time. And that gold lead is going to swing straight back just as that tower falls. What is the item build for the Luna? 1400 gold up on the bank, but even after picking up a Ring of Aquila, so we'll see what it's going to be. Pudge still up here on this top lane. The 2 smoke supports just waiting behind the Luna right now, so baiting a little bit using the carry. Though we'll see if 3D Clan are going to send anyone to try and deal with this. And no, it looks like Pudge is just going to try and take the farm, and the smoke supports are now going to make their way down towards mid, where Sharfik, well, now having a little bit of an easier time after finding a reprieve from the constant astral imprisonment spam. But Fota not done just yet. Smoke's going to wear off fairly soon, though Solo heads up, places a ward. There isn't a rune just yet, so that's not going to be his doom, trying to camp out the rune. So it looks like it's going to be an unsuccessful smoke gank for Fota. They're going to have to go home empty-handed. Prepare for battle. How's he doing? Just some tranquil boots up so far. Is there a soul ring on the courier? Yes, there is, and looking to do a little bit of ancient stacking as well. So banking that up for the later stages of the game. Nice decision, and did manage to get the stack off. 8-minute Ernest just spawned, and Prepare for Battle is all over that, picking himself up an invis. So Sharfik comes down, he's regenning up. I don't think Prepare for Battle wants to try and take this, and he's only got level 1 vacuum, so no shenanigans available there. And yep, Sharfik just gonna have to head back towards the mid lane. He's got 1.2k gold up, so only about 900 away from that Blink Dagger, and with that double kill First Blood, making phenomenal time right now. So, FOTA, oh, we've got a Fisher out on mid. Looks like Zara's going to be fine, but forced back a little bit right now. And Prepare for Battle just ducks back into the jungle. Die hanging out. Bane still trying to find those levels, but picks up another smoke, so we're not going to see the Fiend's Grip up for a very long time. And even once we do see it, Rubik is a fantastic counter to the Bane, at least in that regard, since similar to Black Hole, I mean, the Fiend's Grip is a really long channel. And Solo should be able to quite reliably steal that whenever Bane is channeling. Pudge comes in on mid. We're looking for hooks. It's a rank 3 hook, so a little bit shorter than you might expect. Sharfik's actually going to skewer himself in. Reverse polarity out on Zara. Nice stun connects from Die, but he's going to get hooked across. Zara's going to drop and die. I guess following with his name will go down at the same time. So it's 4-0 right now, the lead for 3D Clan. Swinging that XP lead out over 2k, and gold got a brief bump back from FOTA, but now back over 2k at the same time, and 3D Clan should be fine to claim this tier 1 tower on mid as well. Bane trying to soak up a little bit of experience, though does need to be careful. The effective range on 3D Clan is actually pretty huge right now between the skewer and the Fisher. They get some stun set up on Sharfik. He does have the skewer to try and escape. PFP comes in, the call, then in over the top. The Fisher holding them in position. Die dropping low, will be killed off and Prepare for Battle. Drops at the same time. Zara comes in at the back of the team fight, manages to kill off Solo. Dread now in trouble. Right clicks going his way, and a double kill picked up for the OD as Nexus just waddles his way away, or I guess gyrates his way away. So that's 2 kills picked up for FOTA on mid, though it is in exchange for 2. Supports pretty much the trades either way, so fairly even overall. Waxpa up to 4.5 right now. Pudge level 8 after all the kerfuffle, so does now have his maxed out hook and just continuous roam pretty much from this point on from him. Looks like he's just going to be heading straight towards a 4-staff as that first pickup. And I have to say, warding perhaps a little bit defensive right now for 3D Clan, especially given that they do have a Pudge. Having vision up onto the high grounds and things like that is always nice to have, but looks like they're going to be able to claim this tier 1 tower on mid without doing too much. And Sharfik now with his Blink Dagger finished, and that's an extremely good timing for a Magnetor, so doing a good job so far. And though his score reflects it, it's 3-0-0 for him. And FOTA just feeling pressured and pressured and pressured. We're going to have the Luna going for some treads right now, but still needs to be working towards that BKB sort of quick sticks. 3D Clan, I mean, the only real form of... They have a little bit of lockdown through BKB, but just avoiding that damage is going to be a big deal. Looks like Solo a little bit bugged out right now. Doesn't have the staff. Looks kind of cool, gotta say, but... okay, so the staff bugged from certain angles, apparently. Not sure what's going on there, guys, but... Anyway, all that aside, Luna's going to go grab a TP since the pressure is being applied top right now. They don't really have any vision, but blind hooks... Oh, not even blind hooks. Pudge is playing the lumberjack right now. So just hiding himself down in the trees. We're going to smoke from Fota, heading towards the middle lane, in fact, so maybe just looking for the trade on the tier 1 on mid, and Force Staff going to be the first pickup for our OD. So it looks like it might just be a successful trade for Fota right now. We'll have a quick check in on who's got TPs on the Radiant. It is literally everybody, so they can just mass TPs. Who's got Fortification? The Dire do not, the Radiant do. So they should be able to take this, well, they should be able to maybe take this unequally. They're going to pop Fortification and sending the mass TPs in right now. Fota try to land a split earth, but 3D Clan's TPs were too long for that, so... Looks like Fota just got to back themselves off. The reverse polarity on the courier. Sharvik wants this one bad, though it looks like it's going to be fine to escape. Waxpa stunned in with the Fisher. He's going to drop and now prepare for battle, in trouble. And, Pudge just going to work there. So that's another 2 kills picked up for 3D Clan, even with the reverse polarity thrown out on the courier. So a good punish on FOTA trying to disengage. No tower exchange overall, though some damage dealt by 3D Clan with nothing but a chip for FOTA. So yeah, definitely lucky courier with the escape there. If Pudge was desperate, he could have also dismembered the courier, which would have held it in position, but nothing does damage except for right clicks and physical abilities. So it would have just been a very helpless courier. Looks like Fota put some good pressure down on bot. They managed to get a tier 1 for their efforts, though 3D Clan, the exchange is going to be the tier 2 on mid, so not all that favorable. We do actually have Sharvik going down to the Eclipse. Looks like he skewered into the middle of that one. Solo does get the last hit on the tier 2 on mid, but yeah, not sure what happened to Sharvik down on bot. Thought he was going to be fine. Prepare for battle, walks in, blocked in with the Fisher. He's stuck in the trees. The Dismember as well will be broken there by the Loosened Beam. Prepare for battle, taking some big damage. Astral Imprisonment up on the Gyrocopter, but still getting the Rocket Barrage through, and the Luna now in trouble. Echo Slam down on her. And Bane tries to make his escape, but that's going to be about it. Even a buyback there, thrown out by the DS, so looking pretty good for 3D Clan right now, just playing with the Nightmare, just having a bit of fun. Yeah, so feeling pretty confident with their position in this game, you might say. And it looks like Dread is finally going to walk away and leave Solo up on the high ground. They could have been piggybacking it up onto the high ground to try and make their escape, but I don't know if it was the most efficient tactic. So anyway, 3D Clan 2-2 on mid, down. FOTA on the back foot pretty heavily. Not sure what Luna is going for. 2.8k gold up in the bank right now. Again, I really think it needs to be the BKB. Yes, you're dealing with reverse polarity, dismember, and call down, which are going to snare you a little bit during the BKB and stun you in the case of the dismember and the reverse polarity. But just having that survivability is so important, since FOTA don't really have anyone to be on the front lines right now. Solo, invis up for him, doing whatever he wants. Gets a little bit of a body block off and prepare for battle, so he might suspect what's going on, but he's going to be telekinesis straight back into the hook. Dismembered, not sure if it was even needed. The stolen loosened beam from Solo, picking up that kill, and 3D Clan just going from strength to strength right now. They've now got that aggressive warding going on that I was talking about earlier, so map control really just sort of falling out of the hands of FOTA. They do still have duo carry for the late game. They've still got a fairly difficult lineup to push up into, but 3D Clan doing a really good job of leveraging their advantage. I'll switch you guys over to net worth. I'm not sure why I wasn't there earlier. XP swinging out over 4k, and it's heading up towards about a 7,500 gold lead for 3D Clan right now. And the very scary Earthshaker with his Empower up, so those enchant totems hurt. They're going to have a fortification pop up for Fota. They're trying to get a little bit of an exchange on mid, but it's a full health tower. No fortification up. And Luna actually goes for the Yasha. So, no survivability, more damage, more farm. But we'll see how much FOTA are going to be able to get out of it. I mean, it's nice. Manta Style is great, especially if you can start to look to be evasive and try and split push to avoid the pressure from 3D Clan, but I mean, we'll see how long this relents. There's still only the tier 2 tower for them to try and take. Down on bot, Roshan obviously another potential target quite soon. And from there, again, Pudge has great siege breaking power. Just sit him outside the base, try and get some high ground wards up. They should promptly be dewarded by FOTA, but one hook is pretty much all you need, especially against especially for an organized team. So yeah, 3D Clan just rotate their way down towards bot, and playing 5-man Dota while they know that they have the stronger lineup. Daring FOTA to try and take a fight, but they don't even have the wall up on the Darkseer just yet. He hasn't been having a really fun time. And, I mean, without the wall of replica, well, FOTA's lineup, I mean, if I told you the heroes, you'd say, okay, that looks great on paper as far as defensive teamfight goes, but without having that wall of replica, they're going to really be in big trouble. So, 3D Clan, not a care in the world right now. Zara trying to find a little bit of farm on mid. Hook flies out, and it's an error message for me there. What was stolen by Solo managed to grab himself an ion shell. And the DD Sharfik making his way towards a mech. So some nice items to push up onto the high ground, though again, it's not necessarily too difficult. I mean, FOTA do have a lot of sort of long cooldown spam that they can throw, but not a whole lot of just wave clearing. And 3D Clan just jumps straight in. We get the skewer back onto the Bane, trying to survive with the Fiends, well, with the Brain Sap, sorry. That's going to be about it. Dai comes in, throws out some casual lightning, gets a nice stun up on the Pudge, vacuum back as well, but the tower being tanked up by Nexus. And another TP's come back for FOTA, but 3D Clan up onto the high ground. Is this going to be a little bit of a turnaround? No, Fota not going to choose to chase out of the base. 3D Clan now just turn around. They have, well, they got one down. Bane has now respawned. Yeah, he's respawned. We've got some jumps in. Darkseer forced a long way back right now. I'll leave it on buyback status just for this next fight, but yeah, 3D Clan. I mean, we've got a sentry ward thrown up on the high ground, not an ob, so there's no real vision up there for 3D Clan. So it's blind hooks at the moment for Servo. But if one connects, he's gonna force staff himself up and then fakes the hook right. But FOTA just absolutely terrified, hanging a long way back right now, and they haven't even tried to deward this position over here, so they're not sure if Pudge actually has a ward up on the high ground right now. And 3D Clan making this base their base. We've got an Imprison as the Fisher flies out. Another poorly timed split earth, and now the Bane hooked in, force staff away, will go down. In jump Fota. We've got the Pudge immediately popped there by the Sandy's Eclipse, but Nexus pops out his BKB, going to work, gets a nice call down, but stuck in the corner. 3 dead, and Sharfik chased out, will be killed off the Eclipse, stolen by Solo. Will he be able to find this one? One right click, not going to be enough. Going to try and TP himself out, and FOTA, they did have an imprisonment ready, but not enough. So Fota actually take a pretty good team fight, 4 for 1. I believe the exchange in the end. Yeah, no buybacks going out, and I mean, 3D Clan, I guess maybe a little bit overzealous to jump up onto the high ground, especially against an Eclipse and a Sanity's. An Eclipse and a Sanity's Eclipse. That's going to mess with me the whole game, but yeah, that's that's about it. And yeah, one hook, one kill, as Zebri has affectionately. Well, that's no. Okay, I brought that on myself. The 1 hook, 1 kill. But yeah, that's basically my stance on Pudge in a competitive setting wrapped up. So 3D Clan repelled for now. They can look to turn their attention towards Roshan to have a more significant advantage trying to make it up onto the high ground, but giving space to FOTA is something that they don't want to do. Once those BKBs are up on the carries, things are going to get significantly more difficult, and Luna now making her way towards that one right now. And I mean, we haven't even seen the impact of a Darkseer wall so far in this game, so lots more threats coming up towards the late game for Fota, and looks like 3D Clan are just going to head themselves down towards Roshan. There is a ward from the dire side scouting all of this out, but the question is, can they really do too much? They could try and, well, normally the conventional wisdom would be, if you can't take the fight, go and pressure a tower, find at least a minor exchange. They come out of the base and find a little bit of farm, and Luna is applying some pressure on top, but the last remaining tier 1 is mid, and they can't really do too much about that one. So 3D Clan into the pit. We still got the BKB up on the gyro. ES has had that blink for a little bit. Saw that a while ago. Solo, is it a 4-staff finished up? No, it's a finished mech for Sharfik. So some more team fight tools coming online for them right now. And Age is going to be picked up by Nexus. So pretty much ready to go for round 2, and Gonna see 3D Clan banging on the base doors in just a second. Hopefully, well, I was gonna say hopefully we've got some sentries up for Fota, but doesn't look like we do just yet, so 3D Clan have the potential to throw high ground wards. Luna trying to juke the hook right now, but it's only Pudge. Does manage to find the hook, attempts the stun. There's the dismember. Is there going to be enough damage from the Pudge? No, the Eclipse pops, and Luna finds herself a fairly straightforward kill, but Solo comes in. The Eclipse actually still there from last time, but oh, Fisher not quite from Dread. So Solo a little bit unlucky there, and he's going to run out of this Eclipse before the next team fight. So Fota, nice pickoff, and now they find some counter pressure of their own while the Pudge is dead. And yeah, it's looking better and better for Fota by the minute, and 3D Clan, while it's great to take all the enemies' outer towers in a very quick timing, I mean before 20 minutes, the question really comes down to whether or not you can take Iraqs. And unsuccessful in their endeavors so far. We do have that Aegis up that's going to be up for about another 5 minutes. So a nice window of opportunity for 3D Clan to try and take an unequal team fight, as it were. But yeah, we now got 1 point up in the wall for the Darkseer, 1 more level, and he will have a second. And yeah, that's going to be a big tool as far as these base defenses go. And BKB almost finished for Luna with another easy kill picked up on the Pudge on top, only about 1,000 gold away right now. And Zara, good progress as well, only about 1k out at the moment. So yeah, we're going to have 2 BKBs up for Fota very, very soon, and we'll see how this works out. We'll see how this works out for 3D Clan. They're grouped up down on bot, go for a smoke, trying to get in position to go for something. We get the high ground ward up this time around, and the smoke, make sure that one was relatively undetected. Oh, Darkseer hooked down onto the low ground, going to be immediately killed off. The question is, does he have buyback or not? He does not, so we've got TPs coming back right now for Fota, but the tier 3 in jeopardy will drop, and now reverse Polarity connect onto the skewer back, sent for Sharpic, actually grabbing people out of the call down there. Zara forced up on an angle, nice Eclipse sanities that one, and the other Eclipse not quite ready just yet, so an ultra kill picked up by Pudge of all people, and Solo managing to grab that Fiend's Grip. They've got a buyback from Zara, but there should be at least 1 Rax. For 3D Clan, hook attempted, but not going to latch on anyone, so that's going to be it for this first Rax, and Fota reeling a little bit. Darkseer will be up in just a second, but cursing his, well, not cursing his luck as far as that hook goes, but not able to get out of his way in time. So 3D Clan do exactly what they needed to do. They came up, they planted the ward, they stood down on the low ground, and Pudge got that 1 hook 1 kill on the very first attempt. So yeah, looking pretty good for 3D Clan, and they've still got about 3 minutes left with that Aegis to try and pressure another lane of Rax. So frankly, looking pretty good for them right now. And Nexus's net worth looking pretty absurd as far as things go in this game. Another 4.8k gold up in the bank. And 3D Clan, they've still got this high ground ward. They're gonna get a hook up onto Die. The Force Staff out, the Fiend's Grip by the Rubik. Nice imprison from Zara, but he's gonna be lifted down the wall. Vacuum back. 3D Clan maybe a little trouble. Pudge trying to make his escape. Force Staff still on cooldown, and so is Solo's. Nice Fisher block. It's still a narrow path to make it through, and 3D Clan considering the turnaround. We've got a surge up. The Eclipse is gonna pop from the Luna, but most of those soaked up by Illusion. Still managing to chase around to Sharfik, who's gonna skewer himself away. Meanwhile, at the back of the fight, Solo, he's got imprisonment ready, and we've got Nexus coming in. It's a full circle from both teams right now. Solo's still running for his life. He's gonna have an imprisonment up in just a second. Force Staff up as well. Force Staff's himself down. Zara's still chasing. Solo, where's that imprison? He's got it up, hiding right now, but the rest of his team is actually off chasing after the Luna, so that's 1 dead Rubik on bot, though the Luna in a similar state on mid. And now a 10 kill lead for 3D Clan. Luna is dead and no buyback available, only 12 gold away. So we'll have that quite soon, actually before, and it's now actually heading up, so not sure what's going on there. Okay, no, so it is ready, it's not ready. 818, 835, not sure what's going on with the buyback status, but it is ready to go. 3D Clan still with the Aegis after all of that, though they're running low on time for it right now, so we'll see. I mean, having the 1 lane of Rax has really solidified that advantage, and it gives them a nice, well, it gives them a nice entry point as well to try and break the base. I mean, having Pudge up on equal footing on this high ground is not going to be a fun situation, and it looks like 3D Clan going to be able to make at least 1 more attempt with this Aegis to make their way up onto the high ground. And Sharfik now making his way towards Refresher Orb. So no big surprises there. Pudge almost with the pipe finished up, and we have seen him absolutely melt at the hands of Sanity's Eclipse and Eclipse. And 3D Clan head up onto the high ground. FOTA should know that the Aegis is running low on time, but it's still about 30 seconds, so should be enough for the tier 3. And everybody just so absolutely terrified of hooks right now. It's like a duck gallery. Oh, but the hook connects on the Bane. In jumps Fota. We got the Fisher back. Wall in over the top. Pudge actually vacuum to the other side of the wall, to the other side of the Fisher. Force staffed away. Nice reverse Polarity connect on 2. The call down over the top. Sharfik not dragging anyone out of that one this time. Die will drop. Triple kill already for Nexus. He's BKB'd. He's angry, and now he's looking for prepare for battle. And the GG well played, going to be called by Fota, so they tap out. And the win will be taken convincingly, though unconventionally, by 3D Clan. So yeah, we've just got just a last little... Well, okay, I was going to say commiserations, but that's not at all the right word. So I'll wait around for everyone to disconnect off. We'll get the final score screen for the sake of the VODs. And yeah, entertaining play from 3D Clan. Nice to see Pudge used in a competitive setting. Again, I think he's quite strong, but that's just my opinion. And nice when you can give him effectively an uninterruptible lane when he's just pulling mid. So yeah, Lumberjack Pudge doing work. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been Starseries Season 5. This is day 8 of the group stages. This is just a best of 1 matchup for those group stages between 3D Clan and FOTA. I've been Basket. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll wait around again for the final score screen for the sake of the VODs, though looks like the win might be awarded to FOTA. Might be waiting just a little bit longer. If you guys have any feedback for me as far as my casting goes, do leave me a message in chat or send me an email at basketdota@gmail.com. I love to hear constructive feedback about my casting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got another game coming up quite soon. I'm not actually sure off the top of my head what that is going to be, but I can confirm that for you guys as soon as I get out of this one. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you'll stick with me for the next game. But yeah, that's going to be about it, and hopefully we'll see the end of the game in just a second. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope to see you next time.